Hey, by the way, tonight's game, New York wins that outright.
You know he's on top. Million subs, he never gonna flop. Out of Chicago, where the streets don't sleep. Betting on games, making cash real deep. Crystal ball for sports, he knows the lines. He's a sports aficionado, the money he finds. From football to basketball, he's always on point. Predicting winners never disappoints. He's got that hustle, that Chicago vibe. Making moves on the streets, cash on the side. With E, you know it's always a bet. He's the king of the game, never forget.
Hello and welcome to the Etoft21sports Show for January 6th. How is everyone doing? My name is Erik. I'm the man behind Etoft21sports. Absolutely loaded show for you today. Gino will have his horse racing bet of the day, and my boy King Midas Bets is coming in. Him and I are going to look back at week 18. Going to talk about the coaching vacancies in the NFL and share our wild card weekend bets. Before I get into all that, I'd like to say thank you to the sponsor of the show, PropX. Guys, go to the App Store, download PropX, use promo code ETOFT21. A lot of people don't know there is a new sports betting law into effect. You're going to be taxed on 10%. Yes, you heard me right. 10% of not your wins, but your losses. If you continue to use DraftKings, FanDuel, Fanatics, Caesars, all those sports books, what you need to do is be going offshore or this peer-to-peer stuff, because you're going to be in for a rude awakening when tax season comes next year. I will be honest, as soon as January 1st came, I completely offloaded every single one of those apps, and I am strictly offshore in the peer-to-peer stuff now. But we're not here to talk about that. Let's talk some gambling. Let's see what our boy Gino has a cooking for us all the way over at Gulfstream Park.
Best bet for this week's going to come at Gulfstream Park. It's going to come on Saturday, race number 10. It's the Sunshine Classic. We're going to go to a horse who's had some success in this race, and that is Lure Him In, the 9-year-old now. He actually won this race 2 years ago, back in 2024. Lure Him In has actually been kind of tailing back into good form. You can see he was in the Pacific Classic, and that group was just way too tough for him. But in a spot like this, much better. He's been facing open company really ever since he won that Sunshine Classic. So I think it's a great spot for Lure Him In, try to get back in the winner's circle. That is Saturday over at Gulfstream Park, race number 10. Best of luck.
Make sure to give my boy Gino a follow at It's Me, Gino B. Him and I are going to be doing some stuff for the old DRF, so make sure to check that out. Now, let's bring on the man, the myth, the legend, the Texas State football believer, my boy, King Midas Bets. How you doing today, my friend?
What's going on? Glad to be back on the show.
So what's new, man? Haven't talked in a while. How was the holiday, dude? Did you have a good holiday?
Holiday was great. I work with school districts. I don't work for a district, but when they're off, I kind of get a little bit extra time off, which means bowl games every single day, placing a ridiculous amount of bets. Can't complain.
I'll tell you what, it was great, man. Those bowl games, I know a lot of people are bitching about them and everything, but
what else are you gonna do?
Satisfied me more than, I had Navy +7 and plus 185 on the money line. Getting those early numbers and just sitting back watching it. Got Old Dominion early, and the college football playoffs, they've been fun too.
It's been great. Did you watch the FCS game last night?
I'll be honest,
it was amazing. It was an amazing game. It was one of the best games of the year. It came down to overtime. It was great. Montana State won in one of the most ridiculous games I've ever seen.
And college basketball is going on. You and I were talking beforehand. College basketball, Minnesota got it done. Both of you and I are sweating out Texas A&M. Let me ask you this beforehand, though. What was on the meal for Christmas Day, dude? Because, I was telling you what's going on. For those who don't know, I had to cook this year. My parents are dealing with some injuries. They're on the DL. I had to cook. I'll tell you what, dude. I fucking nailed my prime rib, dude.
Ooh.
I found someone told me the key is take it out of the packaging, put the seasoning on, okay? 24 hours before. And then throw that bitch in the fridge. That's what I did. Took it out on the old TikTok. I found a little butter, garlic, and parsley mix. Lathered that bitch up, dude. Threw that son of a bitch in the oven for 500. Dude, magnifico, dude. Magnifico.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous. Our Christmas dinner was it was good, but it was very similar to the Thanksgiving type food. But we used to do a prime rib, but a certain member of my family, who will not be named, really has an aversion to like what she would call raw meat, like an appropriately cooked prime rib.
Yeah.
And so we can't do it. I mean, we can, just not around her. So I'm very jealous.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it was. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but dude, it was fucking delicious. It was so fucking.
It's hard to beat, dude. If you nail it, it's hard to beat.
And like my mom and my dad were like, because I had to do Thanksgiving dinner too, and they're like, "You have done such a good job cooking. You're going to be cooking from now on."
Right. Congrats, you earned yourself a job.
It's like I totally earned myself a job that I did not fucking want. But we're not here to talk about cooking. Let's week 18 is here and past. We are now into the playoffs. But let's take a look back. You know, we're going to take a look back at week 18 and then we're going to rank our coaching openings. But let's jump into it. What's your takeaway from week 18, my friend?
It's something the last time I was on the show that we kind of hinted at, which was a changing of the guard in the NFL. This was the last time I was on the show was, a couple months ago, maybe. And we were saying, man, a lot of the teams that are looking like the best teams in the league are not what anybody would have predicted. But now we have the playoff seedings out. We've got Seattle as the 1 and Chicago as the 2. And then on the other side in the AFC, we have the Broncos as the 1, Pats as the 2, Jags as the 3. If you were to look at the beginning of season betting odds, future odds, none of those teams are in the top 6. None of them. And those are potentially your 5 best teams. The one I'm leaving out is the Eagles, and they were a betting favorite. They could still come through for kind of the old guard. But it would at this point it would take a miracle for it to be the Bills. The Chiefs are out. Looks like a totally different league if the teams that are the highest seeds end up moving on and doing what they should do. I think we're going to look back at this season as the transition season to where, maybe the Bills window is closing. They never got it done. The Chiefs run at a three-peat is a distant memory. Yeah, I think we're going to be looking at different teams moving forward.
It was a weird season, like totally a weird season. I'll tell you what, in the Chicagoland area, it is very high spirited here with the Bears with the Bears doing well. My new little friend, she is very happy. She is a Bears fan. She is quite ecstatic with what is going on with that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because there's a lot of turnover, like no Ravens, no Lions, no Chiefs. I mean, that's what 3 of the top 4 teams from last year just completely gone. So it's going to be interesting to see which team would come on. And is Allen done? Like, if he doesn't win it this year, this is going to be his best shot to win it. If he doesn't win it, like, is his window closed? I have a Jays future. Should I hedge against the Bills this weekend?
Let it ride, man. It's the first round. How many times are you willing to hedge that thing? By the Super Bowl, you're going to be losing money.
Yeah.
Let it
My
ride.
thing with hedging is this. If it's not life-changing money, why do it?
Yeah. You made the bet. Ride it out. If they make it to the Super Bowl, sure. Hedge it then.
There's only been one time in my life where I wish I would have hedged. And years ago, I had the Bucks 300-1 to win it all and 100-1 to come out of the Eastern Conference. And that was the year they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and were up 2-0 against the Raptors.
It's like, all right.
And I didn't hedge. And like, that was the time I should have put a future. That was the one time looking back at my stuff of gambling when I wish I would have hedged.
I think the Jags can win this. I know we're not doing picks right now, but I think the Jags can easily beat the Bills. They're playing really well right now.
That's an interesting game for me. Like I went back and forth. I found a player prop I really like in that game. Before I jump into my takeaway, and I should have done this before, and I apologize for not doing that. This new tax bill is coming in to effect now. Oh, actually, you're in Texas, so you do everything offshore as is. So it's really not going to affect you then.
It doesn't affect me, but it's an interesting deal because the people who are wagering a lot of money, the bread and the butter of these books are the people who are going to be the most impacted. It's going to hit your big fish really, really hard, and I don't really think people I see people talking about it, but I don't think people have really grasped what this is going to mean. And unfortunately, for a lot of people, if they don't take it seriously, they're not going to find out until this time next year when they're filing their taxes next year, and they realize they're totally screwed. I mean, they're going to break even, and on paper, it's going to be a huge 5-6 figure tax liability.
And I mean, I know for me, like I said earlier, I'm completely doing no vig, prop hex, bet openly, and I still had my offshores: Heritage, Bet Online, Bookmaker. Those three are legit. I have never had an issue getting paid out by them.
Right.
And I'm sure you have yours, guys. If you're watching this and you want to know, if you have a question, should you trust an offshore or not? I will, myself and King Midas, we will definitely share our opinion. So just hit us up in the old DMs with that. Even what's up, MyBookie? I've never had an issue getting bet out with MyBookie too. So there are different alternatives. So make sure you look into that. My takeaway is this: Bucks don't deserve to be in the playoffs. I know everyone is going to argue, point to Carolina's point differential being worse than the Giants, or, their Pythagorean win total is 6, but the Bucks didn't meet expectations. They played games not to lose instead of playing games to win. This is a team that lost to the Saints, the Falcons, the Panthers, and then the Dolphins, and then they beat the Panthers to close the season. That's not a statement finish at all, especially when you kind of look at what is going on here. The Panthers can't stop the pass. They've been historically bad against wide receiver ones. Mike Evans had 2 catches for 34 yards, 35 yards, whatever, in the first quarter. He didn't have another target the rest of the game. Like, literally, what are you doing? They got way too conservative with their play calling. Cade Otton had the game of his life. Nothing from Chris Godwin. Ibuka, I'm going to put his picture on a fucking milk cart. Like, where the fuck was he? He was nowhere to be found. Instead of leading in their strengths, they just played not to win, conservative game calling, and now they're out. And you have to kind of take a step back. What are they going to do? Are they going to reset what's going on? Baker has this big contract. Is he going to be a guy you trust? Because historically speaking, in these big games, he doesn't deliver. I love Mike Evans. Mike Evans is great. He got hurt this season. He's an unrestricted free agent. Chris Godwin has 1 more year left in his contract. Ibuka, as I said, he hit a wall. He was great the first 4 or 5 weeks, and then he just fell off. Bucky Irvin is small. He got hurt from all the wear and tear from last season. Offensive line lacks depth. Christian Wirfs, who's their best player, can't stay healthy. Defensively, the secondary can't stop anyone. And my boy Vita Vea is another year older. Like, literally, if you look back at it and you're the Bucks, you talk about windows closing. I think their window's shut, man. Like, their window is completely done. And they have a lot of no clear long-term answer at quarterback, a lot of questionable contracts. And in the South, which is a completely wide open division, I think they're done. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be that team that we just look at it and they're like, good run, but it's over now. So
yeah, they wasted it. They wasted it because, Baker Mayfield he's at his best when he's in gunslinger mode. So when you go conservative with him, what are you really trying to do? But the argument I would make about Baker is similar to what I would say about Johnny Manziel. without Mike Evans bailing you out, how good are you? And I think we found out down the stretch as soon as Mike Evans went out. I mean, they lost like 7 of 8 at one point against some, as you noted, not great teams. The question is, what do you do from here? It's almost a blow it up situation, in my opinion. I know teams don't really do that in the NFL like they do in baseball, but what do you do? I mean, are you going to just triple down on Baker and pay him a ton of money? And, he's not going to be that good without weapons. And then, you have to, if you do roll with him, then you got to let him play his game. You got to let him run around, scramble around, be aggressive, throw the ball downfield. If you try to make him check down Charlie, kiss your season goodbye. It's just, you're wasting the one thing that makes him somewhat good.
And their running game, like, you had a 5'9", 175 running back have how many touches last year? Like, you can't have that small of a guy be your lead back. It's just wear and tear in NFL. Let's go ahead. We got 7 coaches openings. I'm going to read them off for everybody. These are the jobs that are open. We have the Giants, the Titans, the Browns, the Raiders, the Cards, the Falcons, and in a move that was a little surprising to me, I'll ask you how you feel about it. The Ravens. Before we get into these rankings, and we're going to rank them from worst to first, if we were a coach looking for a job, what do you think about the Harbaugh firing?
That's a really interesting one for me. I was very surprised by it, but they were one of the favorite. He's been there a long time now. I mean, a long time. And I know some Ravens fans. I was messaging with them before I came on here, and a lot of them feel like he's wasted 8 years of Lamar Jackson. They don't really have a lot to show for it. The Ravens fans right now feel like the franchise has done enough to load him up with talent on both sides of the ball that they should be doing more. And they're happy with the firing. They're ready to move on. I was very surprised by that. And the initial reports are that all these teams that we're getting ready to talk about are lining up to hire Harbaugh. Yeah. Now, I don't know if that is going to end up being true, but I'll tell you this: he will not have trouble finding a job. That guy can have a job tomorrow if he wants one.
I mean, is he going to sit out a year? You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, what
he can pick a spot.
Because here's the thing: like, immediately, what I thought of Vrabel, because Vrabel took the Titans, got let go. Titans have been a train wreck since, and he just took the Patriots to the 2 seed in the AFC.
They're the 2 seed, yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see, like, what does Harbaugh do? Does he decide to sit out a year like Vrabel did and then come back in? Is there a job that he's just really intrigued about? There's a lot of openings.
I mean, to me, he can have his pick. So if you like one of these, take it. If you don't like any of these, wait till next year. You'll get something you like.
And the interesting thing was, he said there's 7 job openings, with the Ravens being one of them. And his agent said 7 teams have contacted him. Yep. So there's a team that has a coach
that
reached out to Harbaugh.
Yeah, they might be willing to make a move if they've got him lined up.
Now,
which is really interesting because you start thinking about you know what
I mean? Like, who is it? Like, hypothetically, let's say the Bills. Let's say the Bills lose to the Jags. Is it the Bills?
What about the Dolphins?
It could be the Dolphins. Or, you ready for this? What if it's the Steelers?
That would be interesting. I mean, there's a lot of people that say that last field goal on Monday Night Football, if it goes the other way, Harbaugh has a job and Tomlin doesn't.
And this is the thing that blows my mind. We're going to talk about these teams, the Giants, the Browns, the Cards, the Titans. They would probably give their left nut to be in the position of the Ravens and the Steelers. You know what I mean? Teams are constantly winning. Now, look, you can make the argument that, they underachieved this year. But if they had like a better DC, hypothetically, Cleveland, we're going to talk about Cleveland a little bit. They let go of Jim Schwartz. Harbaugh's like, hey, Jimmy, why don't you just come in? You just run the show here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that defense is going to go to being one of the best defenses in the league. Same thing with the Steelers. Let's say the Steelers call who's an offensive coach? Brian DeBoll. Their offense is their issue. Yo, Brian, offense is yours, man. Here are the keys. Boom. You know what like?
That's what you see with a lot of these teams that have been good for a while is they start getting picked apart on the coaching staffs.
Yeah,
and you can see that's a lot of times how they're not able to sustain success. But if you can, like you were saying, if you can bring in one of those top guys, does it turn things back around?
And that's why I went to the Lions this year. Like I bet the Lions not to make the playoffs just because of the OC loss. They brought in this Morton guy whose principles I disagreed with, who didn't play to the strengths of the Lions players, and it showed because their offense struggled throughout the season compared to what it was. And for those who don't, the best analogy I can give to those listening for NFL is, I mean, everyone's going to be like, well, this player is good, it should work. NFL coaching is like risk. We each play risk differently. Okay. And you need to make sure that the pieces you have will play risk that way. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you have to have alignment with what you're trying to do. And you're exactly right about the Lions. I mean, skill position weapons. Gibbs, Amon-Ra. I could go down the list. You know, why would you bring in a guy that's not prepared to use what you got?
Oh, and the other thing is that Goff got ran out of town in Los Angeles because he couldn't call plays at the line. And Morton said, hey, we're going to have him call plays at the line.
Yeah.
Like what?
By the way, somebody should find an old episode of this show from the summer. I think you were also talking about the offensive line not being up to par on the Lions. You were saying all of these things before they ever played a game. So this is not hindsight is 2020. Somebody can go find the show. It was probably like August. And you said all the same things then.
And it's just, that's why it pays to watch the show. Thanks for the plug, my friend. Oh, that's tough.
You had a free winner. Lions not to make the playoffs. He gave it to you.
Let's jump right into him. What we're gonna do is I'll say the number. You say like what team it is. 1 or 2 sentences why. What is your number 7? The job you would have the least amount of interest in?
Cardinals.
Oh,
and it's because what are you going to do with Kyler Murray? I don't want to walk into that situation. He's not ever going to do anything there, but you can't get rid of him. I don't want to be a part of that mess.
I put the Tennessee Titans. I'm just not a big Cam Moore guy. And I'll be honest, I really don't think that the ownership is interested in winning. You know what I mean? Like, they let Vrabel walk. You had Derrick Henry. You had A.J. Brown. You had all these pieces, and you just let them all walk. Next one, we are going to number 6. Who's your number 6 team, my friend?
So I'm gonna go Titans next for all the reasons you said. I don't hate Cam Ward yet. I want to see what he can do with weapons, but I think you're also in a situation where that's a big risk, just like with Kyler Murray. What are you going to do with that if that doesn't work out? Obviously, they need a lot of help. They're eventually getting a new stadium, so maybe they're willing to invest in the team, but I haven't seen it yet, so pretty low on the list.
I have the Cardinals there just because you don't know. You've made this big financial commitment to Kyler Murray, and this is what I went on this rant last week with the Panthers. By the Panthers making the playoffs, now you're committed, like the Cardinals and like the Dolphins, to an undersized quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you like? They're not going to be able to move off of them. Maybe you can cohort the Jets into making a trade, or like the Dolphins for making a trade, but because they're done with Tua, I just don't know what the quarterback situation is, and it's tough to walk into a situation when you don't know what that is. Number 5, where are you working at?
Giants. This is going to be controversial probably because I know other people that are saying this is the best job that's open right now. I think the talent on the field does not match the expectations of the fan base and the organization. And so I think you're going to end up with a really short leash there. They've made some really clown moves over the last, maybe 4 or 5 years now. I don't see it. I think, you got to figure out what you're going to do with Dart. I think he's just going to be one concussion after another, even if you do like him. I just don't think the positives of that situation matches the expectations. So I think you'd be on too short of a leash.
My number 5 is the Cleveland Browns. I love the defense, but when you losing Jim Schwartz, who was let go as well, is that defense because of that scheme that he ran? Is that going to be the same thing? Offensive line is down. It wasn't what it was in the past years, and Conklin could be retiring. Now, look, we don't know if Shador is going to be the guy. We have no idea. Now, are you going to commit to Shador? Like, what's going to happen there? Juckins, who's been a fucking stud. He had that nasty knee injury. There's just a lot of questions there. I think they did a great job last year with the draft, but you really have no playmakers. You got Harold Fannin at tight end, but who's your wide receivers? You have no Jerry Jeudy. Isn't that reliable in my eyes? So I would go with the Cleveland Browns at number 5. Number 4, my friend.
I'm going with the Raiders. Solid defense this year. I think that offense has so far to go. That I kind of put them in the middle of the pack. It's not a complete and total rebuild. I think with a better offense, that defense can even look better. But I just kind of rate it as a middle of the pack out of these jobs. I don't love it or hate it really.
My number 4 is I went with the Atlanta Falcons. Now look, you got Bijan Robinson, you got Drake London, Kyle Pitts. What are you going to do with him? He is a free agent. Defense was great. This was one of the better defensive units. You have a lockdown corner. You have a good safety. You can create pressure. They would really be higher on my list, but what's going on with the quarterback? They used a top 10 pick on a quarterback who has worse knees than me. Like, my old ass knees are better than Michael Penix's knees. And then you have Kirk Cousins. They have nothing at the quarterback position. So that's why I have him at 4. But everything else on this team, I find intriguing as hell. And plus, you're in the South when you're competing against the Panthers, the Bucks, and the Saints. Number 3, my friend.
I went with the Browns here. And the reason I had them over some of the other teams is because I think they have stacked a decent amount of young talent, and they have 2 first-round picks coming up this year, so you can kind of get some of your own guys in there. I'm a Shador hater, and I watched some of their games down the stretch, and I feel like he showed enough flashes of brilliance that I might be willing to roll the dice on him. The stats aren't wonderful, but if you were actually watching the game, a lot of times he was in situations where he had to make a play. Like, he's throwing bad picks, but they're down. It's 3rd and long because they couldn't run for anything. And like, he can be coached out of those picks. They were completely situational where the guy had to make a play. I think that they're going to keep stacking talent. I don't think that there's a ton of pressure to win immediately there as long as you show improvement. I don't think it's going to be that bad of a job, honestly.
My next one, I went with the Giants. Like, I really like their defensive line. You have Dexter Lawrence. You have Carter. You have Brian Burns. You got some dudes on that offensive line. You have a stud left tackle in Andrew Thomas. You have Malik Labors. You have the 5 pick in the draft. And you mentioned Dart. Now, look, I'm going to say this. I know people are going to say I'm crazy. I heard from a little birdie the Giants are actively pursuing a certain quarterback to come out. And this certain quarterback has the same last name of a quarterback that won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants.
Come out when? Now?
Yeah.
No.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's like, I don't know. That's what I heard. Like, I'm just saying, like, That is what I heard.
I'll tell you why it won't happen. They've done everything. I'm assuming we're talking about Arch Manning.
Yeah.
If I'm here in Austin, the family has done everything to slow things down, make sure he gets all the development. Really limiting early playing time before this year. They've done everything that they can to not rush the process with him. And I don't see them throwing that all away for him to go to the Giants right now. I don't see it at all.
I'm just saying, dude, you got Malik Neighbors, man. You got Cam Skadaboo. I think Cam Skadaboo sucks. Like, I'll say that. I think Cam Skadaboo is a guy that is just brutal.
He's got 1 or 2 more seasons max. You don't build a team around him.
If that. Number 2, who you got, my friend?
I got the Falcons. I like that job. You walk into a situation where you may have the best player in football, in Bijan. Certainly, in my opinion, the best non-quarterback in football. The DC that made the GM that made the ridiculous move to draft Penix when you signed Cousins, the strangest thing that I've probably ever seen in NFL football. He's gone. So you're not dealing with that guy anymore. You have a lot of talent and you're playing in a weak division. You should be able to walk in there, figure out the quarterback situation. I know that's a huge if, right? And nobody wants to go into that situation. But if you can just find a guy who can drive the damn bus, you can win 8-9 games in that division. If you find anybody good, you're winning 10-11 games in that division. So I'm very high on that job. The only reason it's not number 1 is because quarterback not controversy, just question mark.
A lot of questions. My next one, number 2. Now this is gonna be a hot take here. I'm gonna go Baltimore. Like, what Lamar, I had this big thing last week when I gave my Steelers breakdown, is when you looked at Lamar post injury against the Patriots, his stats versus how he closed the season, night and day. And I mean, he was brutal. This organization, for whatever reason, doesn't sit back and say, hey, you know what? We're going to give him a true number 1 wide receiver. They haven't done that. Offensive line has some injuries. Wasn't as good. Defensive line is brutal. They have no depth in the defense. As soon as Kyle Hamilton went out on Sunday night, I was like, my Steelers plus 3.5 is money. I can go to bed. Because without him back there for defense, that defense is brutal. So I know people are just going to go, oh, Lamar. How many seasons has he made it through healthy? He's almost 30. You know what I mean? Like, with a player like that, and we see it all the time, that relies on the athleticism, when the athleticism goes, the wheels fall off quick. And you're going to get 2 to 3 years with him, and he's almost 30, and you don't have a true number 1 wide receiver. Derrick Henry could be gone. Are you going to rely on Kean Mitchell, who we don't know if he can withstand a workload? So it's tempting. They have some dudes. I'm going to put it at 2 because of all the talent on the roster, but I can't put it at 1 because of the age to look.
All right.
Okay. All right. Number 1, who you got, my friend?
Well, the only one left is the Ravens. Here's my take. I actually agree with everything you said. I think there's a lot of huge question marks on the Ravens, but there's huge question marks for every team on this list. Nobody's walking into a great situation. So I don't know if we're allowed to say tallest midget anymore. I think you get canceled for that now. But that's kind of where the Ravens are for me. I do think that, yeah, you may get 2 more really pretty good seasons out of Lamar. What type of coaching opportunities in the NFL come along where you have a proven veteran quarterback that you can get a couple more good years out of?
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, you're usually walking, and unless it's somebody who, coached a team deep into the playoffs and just chose to retire, if you're taking over for a fired coach, you almost always have huge question marks, usually at quarterback, which is the one question mark that is the toughest to fix or to solve that equation. We've watched some teams go 10 years without ever finding their quarterback. So I would hate to walk into a situation and say, we're going to draft quarterback after quarterback after quarterback for the next decade. I'm not even going to be here more than 3 years. When you could walk into a situation and you got a couple years of Lamar, yeah, I'll take my shot at it and figure it out. The hesitation, though, is you watched a very liked, respected coach who didn't even have – I mean, they should have made the playoffs, don't get me wrong. But not a terrible season. They didn't win 3 games this year, and they still got him out of there. So I don't – it's kind of like my argument with the Giants. I think you might end up with a shorter leash than you would like. Number one. Sorry, dude. I got a notification. I was just trying to see what the score was with the A&M game.
My number one, I'm going to do the Raiders. They have the top pick in the draft. They have Bowers. They have Max Crosby. They have Ashton Genty. And there is one person in the world that has shown throughout his NFL career that he effing hates to lose. And that's Tom Brady. So I'm you know what I mean? Like if Brady is the guy who's like really like hands deep involved, I'm intrigued. And I think that's what it's going to be like. I think Davis is going to take a step back. I think Brady's going to take more ownership of the decision making. And because of that, dude, I'm interested in the Raiders. I mean, like, look, I don't think Mendoza is going to be good. But there is some dudes on the defense that I'm intrigued here. There would be nothing wrong in my eyes. Like, if I'm the Raiders, okay, why not use this pick and move back, get a couple more, get the trenches, and then next year attack the quarterback.
They're getting Mendoza, man. So if you're picking Raiders, you're saying I want to ride with Mendoza over Lamar Jackson. That's what you're
saying. Like, I'm just saying, like, if I was the Raiders coach, that's what I would do. And that's why I want that job.
I actually think Mendoza will be good. I don't know about good. Like, I mean, I'm not saying Pro Bowler. I think he will be a competent. The nerdy guys, they're like Andrew Luck, man. They no distractions. They lock in. They're good. Give me the nerdy guys.
Like, I don't even know if I can say this.
We're both getting canceled after this show. So just let it play.
There's one lady who I know. Her daughter goes to Indiana. She was like, yeah. She's like, I would love my daughter to like marry Mendoza. I'm like, why? She's like, a nerdy pro athlete. She's not going to have to worry about him.
He ain't going to cheat. He's going to be building Legos.
I'm just like, oh, I never thought of it like that. But let's go ahead. This is why everyone's here. The bets. Before we jump into the bets, let's take a gander how we did last week. Disappointing 2-4 last week with Wade hitting Jennings over 3.5 receptions. Lost Rico Dotto over 2.5 receptions, and the Niners plus 2.5. Old Uncle Rico hit the Steelers plus 3.5. Lost the Bucks minus 2.5, and Mike Evans over 52.5 receiving yards. For the season, we are 59, 46, and 3. And when that video was playing, I took a quick glance. 65-63 Auburn. We're getting that little run from the Aggies. For those watching, we are both on Texas A&M plus the 8.5. Let's go ahead. Let's jump into it. We each got 3 bets. I love this one, my man. Tell us why you like the Dirty Birds.
Yeah, and really, I don't even love the Dirty Birds. I'm fading San Francisco. It pains me as a Cowboys fan to pick the Eagles, but I think they run away with this one. I've lost a lot of money fading the San Francisco 49ers this year. They have had so many injuries. I actually respect the 49ers a lot. No team could deal with the amount of injuries that they've had. I started fading them earlier. They kept winning, but the wheels have finally started to fall off for the 49ers, and especially on the defensive side. So if you look at some analytics, San Francisco defense, 27th DVOA, 24th in opponent EPA per play, 30th in opponent success rate, 24th in opponent yards per play. The Eagles had a dip that really had me low on them for a while, but they've really bounced back. I don't count the last game against the Commanders. That meant nothing. They kind of turned it back around. Their defense, top 5 in the league in just about every stat over the last 7 weeks. The offense is more of the question mark. But just think about everything that I just told you about San Francisco's defense. San Francisco, I really think a lot of it's going to be put on Hurts. But, is San Francisco's defense going to be able to do anything to slow him down? San Francisco, last in the league in sacks. They've had 6 interceptions all season. They're not going to turn him over. So even if the Philly offense has a relatively mediocre performance, they're still going to be able to move this ball at will against the defense. I was looking at some stats from the last game where the San Francisco defense on paper actually looked like it held up against Seattle. They only gave up 13 points. Seattle moved the ball at will. They had twice as many yards as the 49ers. They had 23 first downs to San Francisco's 9. They had 37 minutes of possession. They were very content just to keep the ball away from San Francisco. I'm pretty confident that if this line was 3 instead of 4.5, this would be a massive bet for me. It is the playoffs. Games tend to be tighter, but it's still a play at 4.5.
Real quick, my boy TC, you'd be up more if you'd bet the Seahawks. I will give him props. Early during the NFC West preview, he said Seahawks 7-1 to win the West. So in the comments, he gave this out. So props to my boy TC. I believe he's got a future on them to make the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl too. He already cashed that plus 700. So props to
good bet
right there.
Love it. Yeah. Celebrate that one.
My next bet, my first bet, excuse me. And it's dirty. I'm going to the Carolina Panthers.
Dirty.
Plus 10.5. When I look at wildcard matchups, short betting data lines up quickly. It points to underdogs, specifically home underdogs. Home teams in the wild card round as dogs are 57% ATS. When those teams finished with a regular season below 500, small sample size, but still 4-1. Dogs in the wild card round, 54% hit rate with a 5.3% ERA. But if we zoom out to 2017, underdogs in the playoffs are 60-38. That's over 61% with nearly a 19% return. In the wild card round specifically, that number jumps to 27-15 ATS, 64% hit rate with a 25% ROI. Underdogs that missed the playoffs the year prior, 41-21 ATS since 2016. And historically, home dogs of 4 points or more are 8-0 ATS over the last 50 years. Carolina fits exactly this profile. Now, from a matchup standpoint, Bryce Young has been significantly better at home, completing 65% of his passes, 2.1 TD to INT ratio. The Panthers also have been extremely resilient this season, going 8-0 ATS following a straight-up loss. Whether it's going to matter here, too. It is going to be windy and rainy. And I think that's going to negate some of the team speed that the Raiders have. We don't know the Rams have. Don't know what's going on with Devontae Adams. Is he even going to play? And finally, fade the public. Like, teams getting over 60% of the tickets this year are covering at just a 41% hit rate. The Rams check every public box here. They're going to be in spread parlays, every teaser, money line round robins across the board. We've seen this movie before. The biggest favorites historically have struggled to cover here. 2020, the Bucs were a double-digit favorite against The Washington football team failed to cover. 2010, the Saints were -9.5 at Seattle, lost outright. 2011, the Steelers were -7.5 at Denver, lost outright. When you line up the trends, the matchup, the weather, and the market, the bet is clear to me. Panthers plus 10.5 in the wild card round. This is exactly the kind of inflated number, high leverage spot where backing the home underdog constantly pays off, my friend. Next bet, and I'll tell you what, this was the first bet that I locked in, and I love this one.
Yep, this is of the three that I'm going to give out. This is my favorite. I'm taking the points because it's at 3.5. If you want to sprinkle the money line on this one, be my guest. We have Drake May is a very solid quarterback. I'm not taking anything away from him, but if you look at the statistics of NFL quarterbacks that are making their first playoff start ever, they win the game. Forget about covering a spread. They win the game about 35% of the time. So we've got that in play. New England, the way that you beat the Chargers is you pressure Herbert. He is a great quarterback when he has time in the pocket, and he's a terrible quarterback when he gets pressured. He has a top 5 completion percentage with a clean pocket. His Achilles heel is throwing picks when there's pressure. New England has some of the lowest sack and pressure rates in the NFL. When I started working on this game, I was very surprised by that because usually a team with their record and the overall stats that they have, you would think that they would be able to get to the quarterback. It's actually been a huge struggle, plays right into Herbert's hands. So on the flip side, you've got a first-time playoff quarterback. He's playing against a top 5 overall defense. I don't know what else to say. They're not gonna get to Herbert. He's gonna pick them apart. May is gonna have all the pressure in the world, and I'm the one getting 3.5 points. I'm not surprised by the line because you got a home team. You've got a statistically very good team. I mean, if you just look at the base level stats and you don't do any further digging, the Patriots look like, man, top 5 offense, top 5 defense at home, only 3.5. It's a small spread. You gotta think about how the game's actually going to play out, and I feel very good about the Chargers.
The historic thing with the quarterbacks struggling first start is real thing. I think Minter is going to throw the kitchen sink at May.
Drake May, yeah.
Vrabel historically hasn't covered as a dog. I know people are going to make a big thing out of the Chargers' injuries to the offensive line, but let's just kind of take a step back. They beat this, just kind of looking at the old schedule. They beat Quinn Ewers, Cook, the kid from Missouri for the Jets, Huntley. They played Josh Allen. They lost. They beat Dart. They lost to they beat Burrow. You know what I mean? Like, who have they beat of any substance this year? You know what I mean? That has a winning team. Like, this is just a team that just took advantage of the schedule in front of them. Yep. Thoughts on Houston winning the AFC? I have a bet in this in a little bit, and I'll tell you.
Just wait a minute.
I'm not too high on Houston. My next bet, I'm going to Dalton Kincaid over 35.5 receiving yards. I really like this prop. The matchup lines up perfectly here for his role. Let's start with the Jags. They're stout against the run, 4th DVOA. They're allowing a league best 85.6 rushing yards per game. That matters because it naturally pushes opponents away from the run-heavy plan. That's exactly what the Bills like to do. They like to lean on James Cook. If they can't do that, I think they're going to look to pass the ball, and Kincaid's going to become the focal point. He's been the engine of the passing game when healthy, especially in the immediate areas of the field. When you look at how the Jags defend the tight ends, 17th DVOA against the position, allowing the 12th most receiving yards per game Tight ends are averaging 9.9 yards per reception, 70.3% catch rate. Both those numbers that work in Kincaid's favor. Scheme-wise, this sets up even better. Jacksonville runs zone coverage at a top 10 rate in the league. Kincaid has been excellent against zone all season. Per Summer Sports, a 93% catch rate versus zone, averaging 14.6 yards per reception, generating an absurd 1.22 EPA per play. Pro Football Focus grades him as the second best tight end in the NFL against zone coverage. Production backs it up as well. Kincaid has cleared this number in 8 of 12 games this season. Despite missing 5 games, he still ranks third on the Bills in targets, second in both reception and yards. When you combine Jacksonville's run defense, their vulnerability to tight ends, their heavy zone usage, and Kincaid's efficiency against this exact coverage, number lines up just right. I'm playing Kincaid over 35.5 receiving yards. Next bet, my friend. And dude, I'll tell you what, I think to me, playing the opposite side of you, what you're going to lay out is the biggest trap on the board this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going with the Texans Steelers under. That's going to be a Monday night game. I'm really looking forward to this one because I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a really good game. Houston, we know that they win with their defense. They have one of the best defenses in the league. They have statistically the second best scoring defense in the league, second best DVOA, second best EPA per play. I don't see the Steelers doing a lot against them. If you watch the Steelers-Ravens game, the final score on that was a little bit misleading. The Steelers did what I think they're going to try to do this week again, which is just hold it close as long as they can. And that was a game that was, I think, 10-3 at the half. Very low-scoring game. I think Pittsburgh's very content to play that type of game. I do think the Texans, some people are thinking that they're going to let Stroud let it loose. And I think they're wrong because what you have is Stroud, and he's played playoff games. He's won playoff games, I believe. So he's not it's not like throwing a rookie out there. So I think people think they're going to let it fly with him. They want to keep the ball away from Aaron Rodgers. They watched what just happened last week. He's a wily veteran. I think they are going to try to win a close, consistent, grinded out type of game where they trust their defense. They're going to run clock. So I think it's a situation where it's going to play out. Both teams are going to be content to run the ball, run the clock. And I'm going to go with under 39.5. I feel like them putting the line there is just begging people to take the over. They easily could have set that at 40 or 40.5. And when they put it at 39.5, they are begging you to take that over. And I think this game could end up being 10-3. 13-10 final type game. I think it could go way under.
Yeah, to me, this says 10-7, 14,
yeah.
14-17.
Yeah.
I just think people are going to see what the Texans and the Colts score and then just immediately just jump on this over.
They're going to scroll through all the Houston scores that have gone high recently. This is a totally different game because they were willing to get in shootouts in those games. They're not going to do that in the playoffs. They're not going to do that against Aaron Rodgers. They're going to trust their defense.
My next bet, and it's in this game, and TC, I think that the Steelers are going to win straight up. I'm taking them plus 3.5. And to me, this starts in the trenches and how Pittsburgh can stress CJ Stroud. Steelers blitz at the 5th highest rate in the league. When Stroud faces pressure, the efficiency drops off significantly. 47.7% completion, 5.8 yards per attempt with a 1.25 to 1 TD to INT ratio. For those who don't know, that is very bad, and a negative 0.28 EPA per play. Major concern against a defense that thrives on creating chaos. Pittsburgh also runs zone coverage 62.4% of the time. Stroud has struggled in those looks, posting a 5-7 touchdown to interception ratio this season against the zone. The Steelers can limit the Texans' run game, which they've done to close the season. This is going to put pressure on Stroud to win consistently from the pocket. On the flip side, Houston runs zone coverage, the 11th highest rate in the league, sets up well for a Steelers offense against zone this season. Rodgers, 73.3% completion percentage, 7.2 yards per attempt, 8-3 TD to INT ratio, and a positive 0.23 EPA per play. The big question is protection. Houston does a great job of generating pressure without blitzing. Per Summer Sports, Rodgers averages just 2.43 seconds holding the ball against zone coverage. That quick decision-making and release should help neutralize the Texans pass rush and keep him upright. There's also experience here. Since 2003, listen to this, quarterbacks in the playoffs that have won a Super Bowl are 64, 25, and 2. Experience matters in this high-level situation. Stroud, on the other hand, we look at his home-road split. Completion percentage drops by 5 points. He averages nearly 47 fewer passing yards per game. And his TD to INT ratio at home, 3.4 TDs to 1 INT, away 1.8 to 1. His EPA per play drops from 0.106 to 0.008. And then there's my boy Tomlin. Tomlin's a machine in these spots. He's 59.3% ATS on Mondays. He's 6-2 ATS on Monday Night Football as an underdog. And this is the number that blows my mind. He is 23-4 straight up overall in games on Monday. Just straight up. So I'm definitely going to be playing the money line here. When you put it all together, profile, coverage, quarterback splits, coaching edge, I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers here, plus 3.5, my friend.
Let me give you one more stat.
All right, lay it on me, my friend.
Teams coming off a division clinching victory in the last week go on. If you take them against the spread, they are profitable. Just one more angle.
Now, if you really want to get crazy here, let's really get crazy. If you think Pittsburgh's going to win this game, I am going to say to you to put a little money on the Pittsburgh Steelers to win it all.
No way, you're crazy, man.
You're
crazy. Crazy talk.
Dude, we just said this is wide open.
It is wide open, and I'm sure. I mean, you're getting great odds. Tell me what odds you're getting, because your odds are going to be better than my BS Texas odds.
EC's not a fan of my Steelers thought. I'm just saying, like, if you think they're going to win this game, you should put like a small pizza, $25. Dude, how much has times changed? I remember when a small pizza used to be $5, but put $25 on the Steelers to win it all, dude. Because
I got 5,200. I got plus 5,200.
The path is there, dude. Like, literally, the path is there. Because what are they? They're going to be the 4 seed. Okay, so let's say, all right, let's play it out. All right, so let's just play out the bracket right now. Okay,
yeah, I got the bracket up.
All right,
so then you would go,
because they reseed. So
they would get the Patriots or Chargers, I believe. Oh wait, never mind. Hold on. This bracket's, I'm not sure is right. I think it would be the Patriots or the Chargers.
Right. Well, let's go through the matchups because they reseed after every round. Okay, so we have the Pats, Chargers, and we'll go with we'll go with you. You can pick them, dude. So chat, Jags and Chargers. Who you got? Just straight up to win.
Sorry, hold on. My choices are. All right, Patriots. You want me to pick Patriots or Chargers or Jags or Chargers?
No. Patriots and Chargers. Who do you have?
I'm taking Chargers.
All right, the Chargers, and then the Bills and Jags. Who you got?
Jags.
All right. So right there, that means it's going to be Chargers versus Broncos, and we got the Jags versus the Steelers.
Jags versus Steelers, and that would be in Jacksonville.
And I'm just saying that's to me in my
that's a winnable game though.
That's a winnable game. It
would be a Pittsburgh home game. They would take over that stadium anyway.
That would be a winnable fucking game. And then like Chargers Broncos, who you got?
I'm going to take the Broncos in that one, but I'm not guaranteeing that one. I think the Chargers would hang in there.
And in Denver, Bo Nix has shown, dude, we need to remember Bo Nix should have lost the Giants. Bo Nix should have lost. Like, this Denver team doesn't scream dominant, convincing win.
If the Steelers were to continue winning and meet up with the Chargers, that would be a AFC championship game in Pittsburgh.
And I'm just saying, like, and when you look at the trend of how well Super Bowl winning quarterbacks do, it's there. It's there. And like TC, this is if I think if you like an AFC team, you bet them to win it.
Yeah, because he's got the Seahawks just steamrolling everybody.
But I'm just saying that it's there. Like, the path is there for the Steelers to fuck around. And how funny would it be if the Steelers won the Super Bowl this year, or even made it to the Super Bowl game?
I kind of like the AFC. I mean, maybe bet. I mean, if you're going to bet it, split half on the AFC, half on the Super Bowl. I would like the Rams or Seahawks pretty significantly over them if they were to make it to the Super Bowl. But you should still be able to get like plus 2,200. I don't have it up. I'm just guessing something around that for them to win the AFC. I mean, how hilarious would it be if they were hosting an AFC championship game?
Dude, that'd be fucking hysterical, dude. Like, I'm telling you, man, like, the path is fucking there. And that's what you want to make out a path. And like, honestly, it's a quarterback award. You probably get better odds on Aaron Rodgers to be the MVP of the Super Bowl too. Like, I'm just saying, dude.
The NFL script writers are loving you right now, by the way. They're taking notes.
I am just saying that the path is fucking there. Like, honestly, I already have, like, I'm looking at these numbers offshore. I already have. And it's like, this is why I love Bookmaker. Like, you normally get like conservative numbers, like 2,800. Like, the Chargers to win it all are plus 2,879. You know, you get the random Bookmaker numbers. I
was gonna say, let me see what I got, because we got to play weird games down here in Texas. For the Chargers, I got 3,000.
I'm looking at a different book here.
And for the Steelers, I got plus 5,200.
Let me pull up my friend. Exact matchup, dude. Should I do an exact matchup for my boy TC of the Steelers against the Seahawks?
Can you do an exact matchup, AFC Championship game, Chargers Steelers? That's a banger right there.
Okay, RJ Harvey, Kenneth Walker, Brock Purdy, JSN have, JSN, I guess you can make an argument, but anyway, they have better MVP odds than Aaron Rodgers does right now on this book. I'm totally going to take the Steelers. I'm putting money on the Steelers right now.
What is Darnold's MVP, Super Bowl MVP odds?
Plus 600.
Nah, dude. That's crazy talk. I mean, I love the way he's playing, don't get me wrong, but that's crazy talk.
If you like the Rams.
I do. What about Puka?
25-1. Stafford is plus 650, but Rams are plus 450. I think I'm gonna put a little on Jalen Hurts. Got the one thing you gotta I forgot to mention when you gave your bet about the Eagles. If you just sit back and compare Jalen Hurts' stats in the playoffs versus Jalen Hurts' stats outside the playoffs, night and day. Here we go. Ernest Jones for Seattle to be Super Bowl MVP I don't think we have an Ernest Jones line.
Yeah, you're playing. You got to take the field.
I don't think. I'm looking, man. I'm all the way down here.
I'm telling you, Puka at 25-1. Because if they make it, who else are they throwing to? Devontae. Have you even played?
Makes sense.
Puka is an absolute freak. Puka Nacua.
And he's turned into a weird guy too, man. He's turned into a weird fucking dude. King, I'd like to thank you for coming on, talking a little shop. When you tell everyone where they can find you on social media and everything, my friend.
Follow me at King Midas Bets on Twitter. And tomorrow I'm going to put an announcement on Twitter, but I'm going to tell you here first. I am not cocky, but so confident in my free plays that I give out on Twitter. I give one out more days than not. Have you heard of the Pepper Mill in Las Vegas?
I fucking love the Pepper Mill, dude. Anytime I go to Vegas, I am posted the fuck up at the fucking Pepper Mill.
To the audience, this was not scripted. It was just, I'm shooting from the hip here. I'm so confident. I am going to track every single free play that I give out on Twitter. 1 unit to 5 units. So no scams where at the end of the year, I'm like, 10,000 units, 1 unit to 5 units.
Yeah.
If I am not profitable, and I will track my record in every single play that I give out. If I am not profitable at the end of the year, January 1st of next year, I will lock myself in the Pepper Mill for 24 straight hours. Anybody can come by and make fun of me. I will be there for 24 straight hours on January 1st.
Dude, I would come in there and just fucking hang out with you, dude. Like, to me, that doesn't sound like a punishment at all, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
after 18 hours, it might be. But I'm just saying, that's how confident I am. Peppermill has not cleared this in any way, shape, or form. I will stay there until they kick me out. But I'm that confident. I'll probably put out 200 free plays this year. And I'm that confident that I will finish with a positive ROI. If I finish down 1 unit, half a unit, I will be at the Pepper Mill for 24 hours, January 1st. You can come make fun of me in person.
Dude, I am looking at the Pepper Mill fucking menu right now, dude.
That was great.
I mean, dude, the Pepper Mill menu is this website is so old. They still have the old Instagram icon on it. I mean, dude, I'm on their Instagram page right now, dude. Jesus, dude.
Let me look up. What year did this place even open? Let me look this up.
Dude, I fucking love this place, dude. For those who don't know, if you have never been to the fucking Pepper Mill, you are missing out on life. I mean, this place is fucking absurd.
Opened in 1972, and it is listed as an iconic retro landmark on the Strip.
I don't even think my parents knew each other in 72.
It's been in a lot of movies. It's been in Casino, Showgirls. It's an iconic place. I love going there. I don't want to be there for 24 straight hours, and I'm not going to be. All you have to do is follow every single free play the way I put it out. Don't try to change things up. Just bet it the way I say to bet it. You will come out ahead at the end of the year, 200 plays, guaranteed profit. I'm not even charging this is free plays. I'm not even trying to scam you into paying me any money. Just play what I give out for free. You'll see that I win. And if not, I'll see you at the Pepper Mill. I can drown my sorrows.
I mean, I'm looking at this omelet right here at the Pepper Mill. It's
probably as big as your head.
It's so good, man. Dude, I will fly out to Vegas and I will do the Pepper Mill challenge with you, dude. Just to be there.
I mean, we should do it sometime just for fun, but it's not going to be because of this, because I'm not going to lose people money.
No, dude, like you've been spot on with college basketball. Speaking of that, dude, Texas A&M looks like they're going to get it done.
Nice.
I did a
college basketball record going into today was 28-18.
There you go.
College basketball make money every year.
I did a 3-team round robin parlay of South Carolina money line, Minnesota money line, and Texas A&M money line.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
9 seconds up by 3. Oh, 2.
That had to pay well.
Appreciate you coming on, my friend. We will talk soon. Give this man a follow. Check. You know what? I would say check him out at the Peppermill, but that's not going to happen, dude.
I mean, I may be there, but not because of this.
I look forward to having you on in the future, my friend, and we will talk soon, brother.
All right. See you.